Just fucking do it. Subscribe now. That's why I don't answer any of your calls anymore. I don't tell you, because you're not going to do what I say. So I stopped wasting my breath about 15, 20 years ago. Because I know you won't do what I say. That's why. You just don't. You can't. Why? Because you're that nymphomaniac that's got to fuck 8 or 10 people a day and you can't help yourself. You won't. So that's why I don't answer anymore. But I'd answer you, Dad. Goddamn, I did. You don't. You don't. Because, you're just white, black, yellow, purple, Chinese trash, and you can't help it. You can't. But the first 10 or 12 years I did this, goddamn, I thought I could flip you. Now I know I can only flip a portion of you. I flip, I can bring you to the dark side, the Darth Vader side. But only a fraction of it, not... I wish I could flip you all, but I just know better now. And Tony, remember the story I told you about Tony? Okay, all the guys said, Dan, you know why we can't look them in the eye? Because we know they're all going to fail. Jay, Abraham, Grant, we can't look them in the eye anymore because we know they're not going to make it. 100% of them say the same thing. And when they say, well, I mean, 0.5%, 1%. So at least I say 1 in 10,000. God didn't make everybody to be equal. Whoever said that, I don't know if God said it, it was somebody said it. It was a lie. Even in your own limited little backgrounds, you know everybody's not equal. You don't need anybody to tell you that. Some are dominant physically, mentally, and so and Sally says I'm happier the last 20 years. That I'm not beating my head up against the fucking wall. And then when I get somebody like an Andreas or a McGuire and they come, I don't ask them to be here. Anything else about Marcus? Anything else about Marcus? But, I told you earlier, the Carlines, their goal was to be at 500 million pounds turnover by 2025. And I told them that they should be at £1 billion turnover by 2024 when I get into office, etc. And for just a regular couple that comes out of the council flats, in other words, poverty, 500 million pounds is a lot of fucking money to them. They can't, and when I doubled it to $1 billion, I mean, they're just, you will never, tomorrow when we talk about goals and aspirations, affirmation, you will never, ever, ever exceed your most wild expectation of yourself. You will never, ever exceed your most wild expectation of yourself. We had guys here in the 90s that are Olympians. That means they didn't win a medal. I'm an Olympian, that means you didn't win shit. Okay? Trained 10, 12, 14 years to be an Olympian and didn't win shit. Okay? There's only 3 positions in those sports: gold, silver, and bronze. And he's running around the country getting paid a lot of money teaching how to be an Olympian. And I said, doesn't anybody ever ask you if you want a fucking medal? No. Because of their low expectations. They want to be an Olympian. Hall of Famer up here, the Mexican kid from Los Angeles, in his junior year of their baseball team, played in the finals for the quadruple A baseball. That's the highest level of high school baseball. And they came in, they finished second. They lost 2-1 in the 9th inning. The coach's goal was to go to the state finals. That's it, just to go to the state finals. The next year, I helped them out a little, and their goal was to win 4-5 in the 11th. You will never exceed your highest expectations of yourself. When I said I was going to create $1 trillion, that's what you call a below the skin goal. I didn't tell anybody that until I had already passed $1 trillion. Because I didn't want to spend a third of my life explaining how I was going to get to $1 trillion. I tell McGuire, stop flapping his mouth about the $10 trillion economy. And so that's one of the last times he said it, and that was a year ago. Because he's got to explain. Okay? First of all, it's not worth explaining to morons. It doesn't matter what the morons think, right? And so, but you will never exceed. You know? When a million millionaires, I didn't tell anybody that until it happened. I mean, there's certain things that it's not the notoriety, it's not worth the bullshit to have to explain, you know. Cassius Clay, who turned into Muhammad Ali, was an exception to that rule, talking shit all his life, and then he became, when he knocked out Sonny Liston. But there's very few of those things that happen. And since I've seen so many kids come through the program, and I've seen a fraction of them, 2 people in this room have the potential, based on data, to be billionaires. 2. Based on my data, okay? 10 or 12, multi-hundred millions, 100, 150, 200 million like that. And 3 or 4 blow their brains out. I don't mean physically blow their brains out. We've had a few blow their brains out, but and those are the stats for 29 years. That's it. The Germans, until recently, were 4 of my 5 last Hall of Famers. They're not. We've added a lot of Hall of Famers, and the Germans start out slow. Germanics start out slow and finish fast. They start out slow and they finish hard. Okay. The Italians, Portuguese, Spaniards are all lazy. They all take too long. I mean, if you have Latino blood in you, you're fucked. You know, you have the sombrero syndrome, where you're sitting up against the wall with a serape over your head, you know. That's just it. It's in your fucking blood. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. I am an anomaly. Jews are not cracked up like they're supposed to be. That's bullshit. You know, I think I only have 1 Jew up there. 1. And he's not a real Jew. He's kind of a half-assed Jew. He's half this, and half something else. So a lot of the myths that you've been told, in the Middle East, the smartest guys are the Kuwaitis. They're the Jews of the Middle East. And they have the reputation of being the Jews of the Middle East. The Swedes and that part of the world, the Scandinavians, are all lazy cunts. Because they have a socialistic lifestyle. And they take care from the womb to the tomb. And we have stats on every race known to man, every part of the world known to man. We have stats. You know, and I'd like to say that our Persian friend left there with boatloads of gold, because I know somebody actually left with trainloads of gold. And there's only 3 or 4 countries in the world that actually the rule of law stands up. That's Canada, the United States, Australia, the UK, and Germany. Everybody else, it's hit and miss, based on how deep your pocket is, how much money you have. If you're from South Africa, forget about it. The court system, forget about it. And that's just the way it is. French are lazy. The Dutch are lazy. The Belgians are lazy. Estonia, Lithuania, they'd rather go out and get drunk. Slavic is what I'm trying to say. And that's just the way it is. And anybody that's been in the training business, there was a giant study done by IBM in the 70s or 80s. And they took all the Asian countries, and it takes 2.7 Asians to do I hate to say white man's job. 2.7. Every senior management in Asia knows that. But nobody talks about it. Not because they're not smart. It's because they spend more time figuring out a way to take your money than make you money. And I can go country by country, section by section, and I can tell you what the odds are. And in most places, the odds are against you. Except for this. This is the only thing that puts the odds in your favor, whether you're any one of those ethnicities I mentioned. I shall write him soon about it. Is there another letter? Yeah. And we don't have another one? Okay, yeah, we do. It's in the slide. You'll find it tonight. Okay. Sonny, that's his nickname. Okay. I said, made me think, all your family are little. We're kind of tall for Nepalese. What? He says, that's a racist thing, Dan. And I said, well, fuck your midgets. Anyway, it made me think, okay. And here they are putting me in a helicopter they can't afford. And I'm, okay. And so, but with this, not this, QLA, it transcends all those stats I just gave you. Even if you're a lazy Dutchman or this, you're a lazy Argentinian it transcends. So we're the equalizer. Now that's why the nuns say I'm going to heaven. You too. There used to be a commercial back in the 80s, an infomercial by a Vietnamese guy that was selling real estate, and he'd be in his motor launch with three girls with big tits. You too! And he's grabbing the tits like this. You too can have with this little Vietnamese. Well, you too, with QLA, can have anything you want if you use it and you follow the steps. But all these places that I've described, everybody knows it. There's some places in the world that the average IQ is 70, 75. Why should they vote at NATO and get the same vote as Germany, where the average IQ is 106? I know all this. Why? Then there's Aborigines. There's Native Americans. I can go on and on and on. And it sounds racist. But it doesn't make it not true. This is the equalizer. No matter how thick you are, now the lowest we've dealt with about 80 IQ, 400 million. The same as Marcus. And 180 IQ, 40 or 50 million. This is the equalizer. This is the special sauce. This is the special bullet. This is the opposite of what could kill Superman. This is reverse Krypton. If you use it. If you don't use it, then, and you use it right. Marcus already said the mistakes he made. And then you listen to little Hitler, Andreas. I can just see him goose-stepping. I can just see him going through Czechoslovakia And then, Romania. And then at Austria, nobody fought him in Austria. They all put their guns down, and I can just see him. Now, he didn't used to like that analogy, but now, but I mean, it's up to you kids. Any questions about, do we have the 60-40? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, right now. Yeah. I want to give them something to be happy about. Yeah, cut it off.